How we doing, y'all? Welcome to Paddy and the Yank. This will be episode 6. I hope you're locked, loaded, and ready. Paddy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing damn good, Yank. I'm doing damn good.
That is fantastic.
I just read this really funny little article here before we came in here to press record, and there's just one little piece in it. I think it was people that were posting confessions on, what would you call it, Twitter? That's the one with the little bird, is it?
Yes. You sound very old. Correct.
I don't have a Twitter. I've never tweeted anything a day in my life.
They post their confessions?
Yeah, it was like things they've done that were embarrassing. They posted them online, and one of these, there was a few of them, but this one just made me fucking almost fall off the chair laughing. You want to hear it?
Go ahead.
Some guy wrote it in and said, I once got so stoned, I watched an entire movie on mute and cried because I thought I'd gone deaf. That's absolute gold. I could just see that happening. So yeah, that made me laugh. So I just thought I'd share that with you.
Dude, from the last episode, there were a couple questions I wanted to ask, but I forgot. So I'd like to follow it up real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Cool. First, so I was asking you questions about Ireland.
Yep.
And then I was asking you personal questions about Ireland.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. You gave me like an Irish quiz.
Quiz.
I think I done pretty good in that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think you were asking me who my favorite.
You had like 50% accuracy.
Yeah, that's not bad. Because I consider myself 50% Irish, 50% alien.
Oh,
That's about right.
I'm 100% alien.
Illegal alien.
Legal. Yeah. All right. Question 1. Who's your favorite Irish actor?
Who's my favorite?
Yeah,
Irish
I really
actor?
can't believe it. I wish I would have asked you that last time, but it's all right. I got you now.
That is a hard one.
Is Colin Farrell Irish?
Colin Farrell is Irish. Colin Farrell's from Dublin, yeah.
No shit. Okay, I think I knew that actually.
He was in the new Batman movie. He played the Penguin. I thought it was a very decent movie.
Yeah.
A little bit long, but I always like Batman because it's dark and he's not a superhero. He just, had a rich family.
I'm leery to see it because you say it was long, and I went and watched Dune, and Dune was long.
No, it's nothing like Dune. Dune was kind of boring.
God, man.
Batman wasn't boring. There was a great scene in the new Batman movie.
So it was good but long.
Yeah.
Okay, I can handle good but long.
There was a new scene in the new Batman movie where they played Nirvana's song "Something in the Way."
You said that, yeah.
And they had this kind of montage that they put together over the song. They put the montage of shots, and "Something in the Way" was playing behind it, and that blew my mind. That was really well done. So there's some great scenes in it. Colin Farrell was brilliant. He played like the Penguin, but he wasn't in it enough. I thought. I didn't think he was in it enough.
Really?
But HBO is doing a spin-off. You heard it here. Probably not first. It's probably already come out in the news. But why wouldn't it have? Who am I? Like I have an exclusive for the podcast on Colin Farrell. But yeah, HBO's doing a spin-off series, and it'll be Colin Farrell's character from the Batman. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be dark.
Whoa.
The new Batman movie was dark as well, which I always liked about Batman.
That'd be cool.
So, to answer your question, I say long story short, but holy hell do I make a short story long.
Yes, you do.
I've
heard that from listeners.
My favorite Irish actor. Okay, let me break down a few Irish actors first. Liam Neeson, Colin Farrell, Gabriel Byrne, Brendan Gleeson, Richard Harris.
What about the dude from Gangs of New York? Was he Irish?
Which one? Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I know you asked me to watch The Boxer, which was an Irish movie, right?
Great movie.
I couldn't finish it.
Set in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Made you too sad.
I need to try again. No, I don't know. Maybe it was just my mood that day.
Okay, my favorite Irish actor out of all those, if I was to be honest, I think Richard Harris and Daniel Day-Lewis out of that crew are probably the two best.
Okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Richard Harris is.
Richard Harris. Oh man, fucking Richard Harris. There's an Irish movie called The Field where he plays a guy called the Bull McCabe, and me and you, Yank, we will watch that movie together. That performance in that movie is terrifying.
You've made a lot of movie dates with me.
Phenomenal.
You've never shown up for one. You know how many movie dates we've had? Not one has happened.
That movie we will watch together, and he plays a character called the Bull McCabe. So yeah, I probably reckon that Daniel Day-Lewis is probably the greatest actor out of that list. The best. And then Richard Harris.
A lot of people really like him, right? I think I heard Rogan talk about him. I only remember him from Gangs of New York.
He was in My Left Foot. He was in that movie about There Will Be Blood. Oh, shit. Have you seen There Will Be Blood?
Oh, no. You made a movie date with me for that one, too. I'm going to start writing this shit down.
Yeah, There Will Be Blood. Oh, his character in that was phenomenal. Just like Gangs of New York. It was very similar, like Bill the Butcher. Very intense. He does method acting, so he gets into character, stays in that character for like fucking months sometimes.
That's cool. Mad respect for actors like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of great Irish actors, but you know what? What do actors do? They pretend.
Pretenders.
Pretenders.
Professional pretenders.
Professional pretenders. Like Denzel Washington, he's very good at pretending to be angry, but angry enough he can hold his temper back. With holding his temper back, he cries out the corner of his eyes. Watch Denzel Washington cry. He cries out the corner of his eyes. Yeah, and then you got fucking Stallone pretending to, run around in the jungle with toy guns shooting people in Rambo, and
All right.
that's my little stab at actors.
All right. Question 2. This is the final question. Final question. Who's your favorite Irish podcaster?
My favorite Irish podcaster would be a guy called Blind Boy.
I still haven't listened to him.
His podcast is the first podcast I started listening to. I mean, I watched clips of Joe Rogan, and I would only watch, like, let's say, a Joe Rogan episode if I thought there was a really interesting guest on or whatever like that, when he's just
That's
like
kinda what I
talking with his
did.
friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, whatever. Then in Taiwan, I met a guy from Limerick, because Blind Boy is from Limerick. And this guy, believe it or not, that I met here in Taiwan 3 years ago, he was the first Limerick man I ever met in my life. And I met in Taiwan. He told me about Blind Boy's podcast, and then I started listening to it, and I would listen to it on my way to work and back from work each day. And so it was the first podcast I actually started properly listening to. So Blind Boy Boat Club. He was a member of the Rubber Bandits. They were like a kind of, satirical rap group from Ireland.
Oh, really?
Irish people will most certainly know who Blind Boy and the Rubber Bandits are.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dope,
that's it.
dope.
And he's a creative, independent artist. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's what
Shout
we're
out
all
to
about.
Blind Boy.
Yep.
All right. Dope, man. That's all the questions I have for you from
Okay.
the Ireland questions. All right, cool. So we got a topic for today, right?
Yes, let's jump straight in.
Cool. So I'm going to start it with a tiny story. I'm a kindergarten teacher, as you know.
Mhm.
I teach 2.5-year-old to 4-year-old babies. Most of them are around 3 years old. So
I
know.
think I'd rather fucking walk to the gallows and take the rope than do that.
Yeah, dude, it requires a lot of patience,
Man.
a lot of growth. I've been teaching for like 7.5 years, but this job has felt the hardest because these are straight up babies. So there's a lot of crying. I'm basically just teaching them how to manage their emotions and how to go to the bathroom, wash their hands, put on their shoes, put their shoes on the right feet because they often put them on the wrong feet.
If doing that if doing that job makes you more of a man than me, then you are a hell of a man. Because I couldn't do that job. I tried it for a while. And
I've
just couldn't do it,
learned
man.
some levels of patience, that's for sure.
Holy hell.
But I've been teaching these kids for about 6 months, right? And one of these little girls has just not developed as much as the rest of the students. Like everybody else, they're speaking English really well. They can recognize ABC, 1, 2, 3. They can walk up the stairs, walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
They can remember what they're doing. But I got this one kid.
Everything you said, my dog could probably do at home.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been a dog person. I'm a dog person, not a baby person. Sorry to cut you off, Yank, but I just had to throw the little
Absolutely fine.
jab in at the young ones.
But anyway, I got this one kid, and she has I'm not going to say it, but she has a name very similar to yours.
Really?
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to stop it there because I don't know if I should say it.
Yeah,
but,
all right, cool.
People can put 2 and 2 together. So she
get
just hasn't developed, man, and her English hasn't developed. Nothing has developed, and I come to find out she's vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom's vegan. She's vegan.
Right.
And then I'm starting to think like, well, maybe that's why. Maybe she's not developing physically and mentally because she's vegan, Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that are vegan or vegetarian, but there's some things that we need for our brain and our body to develop that are very, very important. Like
At a young age.
protein. Yeah. Like protein, fats, and like B12. Like B12 is a huge one because you can only get B12 from meat.
Okay.
You only get B12 from meat.
Right.
So if you're a vegetarian or vegan, you have to supplement with vitamin B12. You have to. There's nowhere else to get it.
Huh.
I think there are a couple synthetic forms of it in like spirulina and algae, but what I believe I heard is that the synthetic versions are not as bioavailable. So if you want B12 and you're not eating meat, like you have to take it in some sort of supplement form. But then if you even take it in a supplement form, that's an issue because a lot of pills, specifically hard pills, are not bioavailable, right? I think I told you this before.
Bioavailable.
Bioavailable means your body can absorb and use the nutrients.
Okay.
Okay? So like I get some really good vitamins from a company called Steel Libido, and the cool thing is they're gel caps. So the outside is soft. Inside, they'll have like some MCT oil, some coconut oil, or black pepper extract. The black pepper extract is called Bioperin, and that is like one of the best enhancers for bioavailability that exists today.
Right.
So anytime I look at vitamins, I'm like, does this have coconut oil, or does this have pumpkin seed oil?
So basically what it does is it breaks it down or helps your body break it down and absorb it better.
It enhances the absorption of it.
Okay.
Right? Because like millions of people, and I've been included in this, just popping pills, just popping handfuls of pills. But like the truth is, if you're not like mixing it with a fat or a bioperine black pepper extract,
Yeah.
I don't think your body's going to absorb very much of it.
What
Yeah.
about those, like, people get those multivitamins, and it's usually one hard pill, isn't it?
And that's the exact thing I'm kind of talking about. I don't think there's no black pepper extract in that.
Huh.
There's no oil in that. There might be some out there, but when I look at them, it's never present because you need to, the gel caps, those are the ones. They break open. They're already in liquid form. They're mixed with some kind of fatty oil. The fatty oil helps your gut absorb it. You know what I mean?
When you told me this before, I have ordered nothing lately but gel caps and the capsules.
Nice. Yeah, so I started getting worried about this kid. Like, maybe she's not getting B12. And so I sent a message to her mom about B12. And then I also sent her a message about coconut oil. So I remembered I was doing some research a couple years ago, and I came across something called, I believe it was lauric acid, which is also present in a mother's breast milk, right? And so coconut oil is really good for kids. And then I started doing some more research about what the exact benefits are of coconut oil for children, right? And it's like you can use it as a moisturizer for the skin or the hair, which made me think about when I went to India. When I was in India, every day they would put coconut oil on their face, in their hair, and then they would use it for mouthwash. And dental hygiene is another thing you can use for it with children.
So they would use coconut water as mouthwash.
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
And it's actually called, what's it called? Something pulling. Something pulling is what it's called when you soak the coconut oil, soak your teeth in coconut oil, and then like pull, because it's antibacterial, I believe, and it can pull bacteria out of it. It's antibacterial and antifungal. So you can put it on fungal infections, bacterial infections, and it can help with that.
What about for fresh breath? Would it aid you in having fresher breath? I mean, or does it smell? How does it smell in your mouth? Because when I brush my teeth, a lot of the time, obviously I want to clean my mouth and clean my teeth, but I also want my mouth. I want my mouth to smell fresh. There's nothing worse than fucking dragon breath or fucking.
Well, I would assume that like bacteria is what causes stinky breath. So if you put something that was antibacterial in your mouth,
makes sense.
It might kill the cause.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We got to try that shit out.
Yeah. So so coconut oil is good for moisturizer. And another thing that I saw was pretty cool is that it said adding a tablespoon. Is it a tablespoon or a teaspoon? Add a tablespoon of coconut oil to kids' food before eating, and it can increase the absorption of vitamins and minerals. Exact thing we were just talking about with pills, right?
Yeah.
Gel caps, fatty oils, black pepper extract, these enhance absorption. And just coconut oil by itself, period, enhances absorption. I actually told Ninja Ned that a while back. And he would take a scoop of coconut oil and then he would take his vitamins. So the coconut oil would help his body absorb the vitamins.
Shout out to Ninja Ned.
Shout out to Ninja Ned. Cool. And it's also really good for your brain. Because I believe your brain is like 70 to 80%. Your brain is 70% fat.
Whoa.
70% fat.
So your brain is 70% fat, and
Correct.
the surface of the earth is 70% water.
Oh, interesting. Fat.
Isn't your body?
water.
Isn't your body 70% water?
I think it is.
And the surface of the earth is 70% water.
Huh. So 70% of the earth must be brain. Consciousness. Consciousness.
Hey, everything's connected, you know.
Yeah.
We are one.
Yeah.
Everything is one.
So coconut oil, because of like the fatty acids. The fatty acids in it, the omegas in it. It's also good for your brain function.
Okay.
I think I gave you a scoop earlier, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so like a lot of times when people are doing fasting or keto fasting, they'll make like a bulletproof coffee, which is black coffee with coconut oil and grass-fed butter, because all that fat can fuel fat burning, but I believe it can also fuel brain function and cognitive ability. So like heavy fats are really, really good for your brain. That's why fatty fish, good for your brain. Good healthy oils, good for your brain.
Yep.
So it said giving your child some coconut oil can improve the energy, alertness, and also boost immunity. Okay,
Coconut oil, huh?
Coconut oil, man.
I love coconut and coconut water.
And it's like 80 to 90% saturated fat, slow to oxidize, and I think that's meaning like when you're cooking with it, it doesn't turn into smoke fast.
Also, a good alternative to drinking pop or soda would be to drink some coconut water. Fresh coconut water. That's what I drink over here because it's got really, really low sugar in it, and it's full of electrolytes and potassium, and it's good for recovery. So, good for recovery, good for rehydration, low sugar. That's what I drink here in the summertime. Coconut water.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a lot different than coconut oil, though. Coconut water is really rich in potassium, right? So
Yep.
it's a great post-workout drink.
Yep, indeed.
But
Like
it,
bananas.
but it can be a little high in sugar and carbs. But naturally it's not. But a lot of companies add extra sugar to coconut
I
water.
always try and get the one that just has.
Me too.
It's natural, straight
Natural
from the coconut.
natural coconut water does not have a lot of sugar.
Okay, well think about this. If I'm drinking, I think it's, let's say, a liter of coconut water.
Mm-hmm.
There's 10 grams of sugar for that in that liter of coconut water.
Yeah.
In a
That's
if a 350 ml can of Coke, how many grams of sugar is there?
I have no idea.
I would bet or guess that it's close to 40 grams of sugar. So as an alternative, because I mean, I drink just straight up water most of the time, but then there's the time where you just crave something else.
I think for people who are soda addicts, the best thing to do would just be to switch to sparkling water, and then you can even flavor the sparkling water, passion fruit with lemon, with honey. There's a lot of really good substitutes for pop, man.
I'm good, man.
Yeah, did you guess it
I'm
exactly?
good. 39 grams of sugar.
In a Coke.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I said
Coke is
about 40
terrible.
grams. Around
Yeah.
40 grams. So that's it. An alternative for you if you're drinking fucking Coke or Fanta or any of these other shit drinks is try some coconut water.
All right. So I messaged this little girl's mom, right? And I
Okay.
was like, yo, you need to get her on some coconut oil. You need to get her on some B12 because, like, she's not learning. She's not picking anything up. Like, she's not growing at all. And she sends a message back, and she said, I actually put DHA and vitamin B in her cereal or something like that. Put it in her milk, put it in her cereal, put it in something.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that don't make any sense. Why isn't she developing? But then I came home and started doing some research. I found out there are actually many different kinds of fats. Do you know what they are?
Nope.
Omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, DHA, EPA.
Okay.
These are like all the different kinds of fats.
I know omega-3. That's about it.
Omega-3. Yeah, kind of. I did too.
Fish oil or
I was like, yeah, isn't that why we eat fish for omega-3? Or like pumpkin seeds, whatever. So I did some research into this. So omega-3s are fatty acid, and they're essential building blocks of brain and important for learning and memory. That's omega-3. Oh, and about the DHA, women's prenatal vitamins actually contain DHA. The DHA contributes to the brain development while the baby is a fetus in the womb. So it's actually important for women to have a high level of healthy fats while she's pregnant.
Yeah.
But infants are extremely sensitive to mercury. And mercury is something that you have to worry about when you're trying to get a bunch of fat in your body, right?
Well, a lot of fish, they're saying a lot of the tuna and different things like that now have lots of mercury in them. Because the tuna, any of them top predators like that, isn't it? They eat so many different
The
other types
bigger
of fish.
the big fish eat the little fish, so the big fish have more mercury.
Yeah, correct. 'Cause I used to always eat tins of tuna when I was training, lifting weights and stuff like that. And then one of my friends called me and he said, "Do you still eat so much tuna?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, you might want to eat so much because of the mercury. But that probably wasn't even real tuna anyway. It's canned tuna. Who knows what the fuck that is?
Do you know how the mercury gets into the fish?
Nope.
Have you ever thought about that?
No.
It first goes into the air from like volcanic eruptions or forest fires, or from humans, like burning coal, burning oil, or burning
fossil
wood.
fuels, yeah.
Yeah, and then the mercury hits the air, settles on the land, goes into the water, and bacteria and microorganisms convert mercury into methylmercury. Then fish and shellfish in the water begin to absorb it.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty crazy,
Damn,
right?
that's interesting.
And like you just said, fish that eat other fish tend to have higher levels of methylmercury.
Lay off the fish.
Well, I think you should lay on the right fish and lay off the wrong fish.
Well, even that's a big, deep, long discussion we could have because
like which fish?
we're definitely overfishing the fucking oceans, man.
Oh, nice.
And
Good
you know what?
point.
Here's a shout out to anybody that fucking eats shark fin soup. Go fuck yourself. To anybody that fucking catches sharks and cuts their fins off and throws them back into the water, go fuck yourself.
He's going on a
To
trophy
anybody
hunting
to
rant.
anybody that's out there
Get ready,
whaling
people.
and fucking butchering and killing whales, go fuck yourself. That's what I say. And that's it.
You know what? They're also high in mercury. I'm trying to remember where
What's
I read
high in
that.
mercury?
I'm pretty sure like shark is one of the fish you want to avoid,
shark-
and tuna. Shark and tuna.
They'd be top dogs in the ocean.
Yeah, those are
They're
a couple of the
top
ones
dogs.
that you want to avoid, and I can't remember what the other
hey,
ones were. Yeah,
Yank.
Go ahead.
On the note of fishing, we'll get straight back onto topic then.
Go ahead.
Did you see the video of the guy in Australia a couple of weeks back that got mauled by a great white shark?
No, I didn't. I
in
don't watch the
Sydney?
news, but I want to hear about it. Go ahead.
Oh, holy hell. It was horrific, man. I've been fascinated with sharks and wildlife since I've been a kid. Sharks especially. I even drove down to, I think it was called Port Lincoln in Australia, to go and dive with the great white sharks in the cage when I was there.
Oh, you told me a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
Man, it was one of the worst days of my life. I was
'Cause you-
excited about it my whole life. I wanted to see sharks in the wild, especially the great white. And I was like, I'm getting the chance to dive in a cage with them. We went out there, long story short, on the boat. Everybody was getting seasick. We're out there all day for hours until evening time, and not one single great white shark turned up. And in that month, you can check online, sharks had turned up every day, bar the day we went out. I was so disappointed and so pissed. And when we were coming back in the boat, it was pissing down rain. It was freezing cold. It was like, oh my God. One of my dreams since I was a kid was to, see the great white shark. And yeah, it turned out to be one of the worst days of my life. But
Sucks.
that guy that got killed in Sydney there a couple of weeks back, that was caught on camera, man.
Jesus.
And I was always saying to my friend, I got a couple of friends at home that are big into the wildlife too, and we'd just be always saying, like, with the camera phones now and all that kind of stuff, it's only a matter of time before we get stuff like that on camera, like a great white shark attack. Of course, it's difficult to catch on camera because, you know what I mean? You don't, 9.9% of the time, maybe even 100% of the time, you don't see the shark coming. It just attacks from below, and it takes its prey from below. But this shark, if you see the video, Yank, it's fucking terrifying. Like, the shark doesn't just come in and take a bite out of him, a test bite. The shark mauls him in the water. Like, I reckon on the first bite he would have been probably done. But yeah, sympathy for that guy. But that was, at the same time, it was fascinating to see that. Like, I've always been curious. It sounds fucking weird or whatever, but shark attacks and that's always fascinated me.
All right, I got to jump back in.
No problem. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So I want to talk about the difference between these different omegas and omega-3s. I think we need to know this. I think parents need to know this. Kids need to know this. Adults need to know this. But so we got omega-3, right? And actually 3 types of omega-3. EPA, DHA, ALA. Okay? EPA reduces inflammation and helps depression. DHA, brain development and function. So this little kid's mom was right by giving her child DHA. ALA can convert to EPA or DHA, but it's not that efficient, doesn't work so well. Like, why are vegetable oils bad? This was my driving question last night. Okay. Why don't we want to use vegetable oils? Like, why are we trying to avoid canola oil and shit like that? What's bad about it?
Well, I know what's bad about palm oil.
Pan oil?
Pam.
Spray?
Palm. You
Palm.
guys in America say palm oil. Fucking palm oil.
What's bad about it?
About palm oil?
Yeah, what's bad about whatever the fuck you want to call it. Tell me what's bad about it.
What's bad about palm oil is that they're fucking destroying the rainforests so that they can grow all this shit. That's what the problem is.
That's the problem. So
that's the problem. They're taking away.
So the problem's not the human.
Huge parts of jungles and rainforests
for what oil?
To grow palm oil, or as you Americans say, palm oil.
I've never even seen palm oil, dude.
Check.
I don't think it's a very common oil.
Palm oil is in everything.
It is. Okay.
You will be shocked when you see this. I'm surprised you don't know this goddamn shit.
Well, it didn't come up in any of the research last night. Wow. Like, everything I was looking at, I'm looking at soybean oil. I'm looking at corn oil. I'm looking at oils that are specifically used for cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like soybean oil, corn oil, mayonnaise, these are all really high in omega-6s. So omega-9, omega-9 is the only one the body produces on its own. Omega-3 and 6, the body cannot produce, and you must get it exogenously from outside your body.
Okay, exogenously.
Exogenously.
That's a good word. I've never heard that word before.
Endogenous means in your body. Exogenous means outside of your body. I think exogenous starts with EX, and EX means like exit or outside.
Awesome.
Yeah, and endogenous, like inside.
So that's 2 words I just learned.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago. I was listening to Ben Greenfield, and he was talking about ketones and how we have both endogenous ketones and exogenous ketones. And so exogenous ketones are when you take ketones in some sort of supplement form. Endogenous ketones would be when you fast or you do a keto diet, and then your liver starts to produce endogenous ketones on its own.
Huh, like concise. Now I've learned 3 words from the Yank since we've been doing this podcast, and I didn't pretend like I knew what endogenous meant there, did I?
No, you shouldn't.
Like I did with concise. All right, very interesting.
But that's funny. So omega-6s are like safflower oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower seeds, walnuts, pumpkin seed. But I assume the reason we don't want to do vegetable oil is because omega-6 is bad for you.
In what way?
I avoid vegetable oils. Actually, I guess I heard Ben Greenfield say it, and I heard that it was carcinogenic when you increase the temperature to the smoking point. It becomes carcinogenic, and like it's not much different than smoking a fucking cigarette. And like at work, the auntie at work, she cooks all this food in nothing but canola oil, and I can smell it, I can see it, and I'm disgusted, man. So vegetable oils are really terrible for you. That's the shit that causes cancer.
If you go out here in Taiwan and you order what's called a bian dan, which is a lunchbox. It usually consists of a piece of meat, some rice, and then some vegetables. The vegetables are always soaked
Now,
in
do you
oil.
think that's good for you?
Not at all. I get fucking kitchen roll.
Why
and
isn't
I
it
put
good
like
for
4
you?
pieces of kitchen roll. And
Why
I soak
isn't it good
all
for
the-
you?
I don't know why it's not good for me.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I always
makes
try and
that
soak it
oil
out.
bad, but what makes the oil that comes from olive oil, or I use avocado oil when I cook, right? What makes those oils good, and what makes vegetable oils bad?
I have no idea.
That was kind of my driving question last night. That's what I was trying to get to the bottom of.
Yeah.
So I found a couple different articles from Harvard, which were very interesting.
Okay. So why some certain oils we cook with are better than others, or safer, or not as bad for you?
Correct.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm interested to hear this.
Okay. In 2015, the FDA banned manufacturers from adding trans fats to food products because they have no health benefits and raise levels of bad cholesterol in the blood while burning good cholesterol. Harvard said that. Before we go too far on that, I think we need to talk about what trans fats are. And that was one thing we didn't really get to yet. All right. So the true unhealthy fats are the trans fatty acids. So it's vegetable oils that contain trans fatty acids, and trans fatty acids are hydrogenated oils. And that's when you take an oil and you condense it and you make it very, very hard, like the size of butter. So these are vegetable oils that were chemically modified, so they're solid like butter, like I said.
Yep.
They don't spoil as quick. We put them in cookies, chips, crackers, and margarine. So I think that's kind of what you were talking about with the palm oil, right?
Yeah.
Palm oil is probably a hydrogenated oil. And too much omega-6 can raise blood pressure, lead to blood clots, cause a heart attack, and a stroke.
blood clot, yeah.
Blood clots.
Yeah,
Now,
blood
that
clot.
makes sense. That's what I feel like I've heard in the news growing up. Like, too much red meat,
Yep.
too much oil. This causes heart attacks. This is bad for your heart. This is the bullshit we've been fed, right? Although today there's like a bigger argument for the fact that saturated fat's actually good for you. And we want to eat more saturated fat. And that's where we're going to get a lot of vitamin B, I believe, as well. But I think like
Vitamin B is good for blood circulation too, isn't it?
yeah, it's good for your DNA, and it's good for creating red blood cells, right? So I think that you can develop something called a B12 anemia, where you don't have enough B12, therefore you do not have enough red blood cells.
So you'll be lacking energy.
Yes.
You'll fatigue very quick.
Yes. All right, cool. So yeah, trans fatty acids. Those are actually the bad oils. But I think the trans fatty acids are the acids that are in a lot of vegetable oils. So Harvard in 2019, they said omega-6 fats are beneficial. 2015, the FDA banned manufacturer from adding trans fats to food products. 2019, Harvard says omega-6's fats are beneficial. So I was like finding lots of conflicting evidence last night. And I like jumped around to like 3 different websites.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find one website that said vegetable oils are bad for you. And I found myself starting to feel really, really confused. And then I started thinking, has this been a cover-up job from the FDA? Yeah. And my girl asked, why would they do that? And I was like, because I don't think the U.S. government really wants its citizens to be healthy.
Really?
I think it wants its citizens to be unhealthy, because when you're sick, you have to go to the doctor, and it fuels the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to pay for private health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it was hard to find a website last night that actually said vegetable oils were bad for you.
Look.
I thought that was common sense. Vegetable oils are bad for you. You should not use them when you cook. I thought that was common sense, but like all over the web,
Yeah.
everything's like, no, they're good. They're good. They're okay for you. They have omega-6s. Omega-6s are good for you. Like, this is total fucking bullshit. It was hard to find a website that disagreed.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're saying there about that and the government not wanting you to be well and stuff like that. Look at the price of petrol now. Have you seen the price of fuel around the world?
I know it's been skyrocketing forever.
Man, it's gone up like crazy. Like, what's the story there? Like, how and why in the 21st century are we still driving cars that are fueled by petrol?
Well,
and
we're
diesel?
getting away from it, aren't we?
What? Very fucking slowly. Very slowly. But why are we like? You know what I mean? You could have solar-powered cars. Legit, you could have solar-powered cars. We get enough sun in most places, like in America there. Let's say in California. Everybody should be driving a solar-powered car or a battery-powered car because you've got enough sun down there, don't you?
Well, it's getting good, right? Like, Elon Musk is having a pretty big impact on it.
Yeah. You'd have the fucking, what you call them? Not the motorheads. What you call them?
The meatheads?
No, not the meatheads. The people that like old classic cars and they like that American muscle behind. I like to have that American muscle underneath me when I'm driving down the highway. I like to know when I pop that baby into 5th gear, I'm going to tear that road up and leave behind me nothing but a trail of dust.
I'm moving forward.
Go on.
I want to talk about Harvard because this blows my mind. They're like the most renowned university in the U.S., right? Or one of them. So they said omega-6 fats are beneficial. They're good for you. They actually take down your bad cholesterol. They keep your blood sugar in check, and they improve the body's sensitivity to insulin. Harvard said this in 2019. Extremely confused. I have the preconception that omega-6s are bad for you. This was their argument. Our body can convert most of the omega-6 to another fatty acid called arachidonic acid, and this is a building block for molecules that can promote inflammation, blood clotting, and constriction of blood cells. So the omega-6s can convert to arachidonic acid. Their argument is this, but the body also converts arachidonic acid into molecules that calm inflammation and fight blood clots. This is the part that I think is bullshit, but I'm not really sure. They said it's not only safe, but even beneficial for your heart and your circulation. Vegetable oils rich in omega-6. Eating more omega-6 fats reduced markers of inflammation or left them unchanged. Sources of omega-6: safflower oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil. These oils are not good, man.
They're making it out like they are.
Yes.
They're
That's
trying to
kind of
portray
my
that
point.
that
That
they
is
are right.
kind of my point. And it seems like people...
Well, what's the conflicting evidence that they aren't good for you? What's the argument on that side?
Omega-6 linoleic acid, I believe is what it's called. The body can convert linoleic acid to omega-6, or it can convert omega-6 to arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid is called AA. AA produces eicosanoids, which are pro-inflammatory, and that is one thing I discovered. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory.
Right.
Omega-6s are pro-inflammatory.
And a lot of disease and different things come from inflammation in the body, correct?
Yes, and really the problem is actually that we want to have all these omegas. We want omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9, but the body produces omega-9 endogenously. So we have to get omega-3 and 6 from food sources. The problem is just that we're out of balance. And what the recommended intake is like a 1-to-1 of omega-6 to omega-3. So for every serving of omega-6, you have 1 serving of omega-3. Or you can do 4 servings of omega-6 and 1 serving of omega-3. The problem is that the typical Western diet is 15 servings of omega-6 and 1 serving of omega-3. Or as high as 17 servings of omega-6 and 1 serving of omega-3. So it's an omega imbalance, right? And I would assume...
That's a mega omega imbalance.
Mega omega imbalance, right?
So bottom line, vegetable oils are bad for you.
Yeah, and then I went to WebMD, and they were saying the opposite of Harvard. We eat too much omega-6. It raises blood pressure. It leads to blood clots that can cause heart attack and stroke and cause your body to retain too much water. Now, Harvard might have just been like, because they were never talking about too much. They were just saying omega-6 are good for you. But they never said too much omega-6 is good for you. So maybe it was literally just the wording they used. If you focus on one thing just in and of itself, yes, this is really, really good for you.
Yeah.
But you have to talk about the portions and the doses, right?
Yeah.
Too much of anything is bad for you. Or too little of anything can potentially be harmful as well, right?
Correct. It's about the balance in life, isn't it? Everything's about balance.
They neglected to mention that an excess of it is unhealthy. Cool. So on your daily consumption of food, it's recommended you get 30% of your calories from fat, or as little as 20. Do you know how much the keto diet has in fat per day, per meal?
I do not.
It's like anywhere from like 60 to 80% fats.
Whoa.
Can you imagine eating a meal that was 70% fat?
No.
I did that with Ninja Ned one time.
Really?
Oh my God, I had stomach cramps so bad for like 3 hours.
Holy hell.
It was terrible.
So the keto diet, explain, what is a keto diet?
It's basically just that. I think like different websites say different things, but I'd say it's somewhere around the ballpark of 60 to 80% fats, 10 to 15% protein, 5 to 10% carb.
So very, very low amount of carbs.
Very, very little carbs, and then just a little bit of protein, and then a shitload of fat.
Ninja Ned at the moment is doing the carnivore diet.
Yeah, and he's doing a specific form of the carnivore diet.
Okay.
He's doing Paul Saladino's form of the carnivore diet. Paul Saladino is a doctor, so I probably should have said Dr. Saladino. He's got a PhD. He's got a
I'm sorry, Dr. Saladino. I didn't mean nothing bad, you know.
He's got a podcast. He was on Rogan. He was on Greenfield, and he's been pushing for this new kind of carnivore diet where you Well, do you know what the carnivore diet is?
I was just about to tell you, explain to people. I know what the carnivore diet is,
right.
but to explain to people that might not know what is the carnivore diet.
It's a diet I really want to do, but I just don't have access to the things I need in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
Carnivore diet is where you only eat meat, but it's not what you're thinking. It's not like 10 beef patties for breakfast, 10 pieces of chicken for lunch,
Yeah.
and 3 bags of bacon for dinner. That is not what it is. If you're doing, a lot of people do rib-eye steaks and bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can get away with that. But like the best way to do it is to be eating the animal organs, and they call eating an animal nose to tail, which means you eat every single piece of that animal. Right. Ben Greenfield's a pretty big advocate about eating nose to tail.
And a lot of the organs hold the most nutrients, like liver.
Yeah.
Like
do you
liver
know what?
is,
Yeah. Do you know what liver has?
I do not know.
Liver is the best source of B12.
Really?
Liver and kidneys.
There you go.
There you go.
And iron. There's a lot of iron in liver as well.
And actually, lamb liver.
Lamb oil. We're going to catch.
I wonder how lamb
lambs.
oil is.
Gonna oil me some lambs.
Lamb liver is the healthiest liver.
Oh, really?
I came across that last night. It has more B12 than beef liver.
Man, I might start trying to eat liver. I never liked the taste of it though.
I'm trying to find it, but Ninja Ned hit me up, asked me if I could find liver, and I'm like, I see it around, but I'm pretty sure it's from factory farmed pigs.
I know Dr. Lecter was a big fan of liver.
Was he?
I ate her liver with some fava beans and a red Chianti.
I want some liver too, dude. I want some liver too. It's really good for you. But I cannot find good liver here. Like, there's no point in eating animal organs if they're coming from shitty animals. A pig that lived inside, ate shit, shot up with hormones and antibiotics, then that pig's actually going to have a lot of toxins in it.
Oh,
and where are those toxins going to be? In the liver.
Yep, exactly.
So if you can't get the liver of like a good wild animal or a grass-fed animal, then I don't even know if you should be eating liver. It might do more bad than good, and that's what really sucks. But he said he found some venison liver, which would be super cool. There's a lot of wild boar and venison. I just went to Nanto, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of wild venison and a lot of boar up in the mountains.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we should hunt one.
Well, I actually know a guy here who used to hunt with native Taiwanese people, the indigenous people, and he hunted wild boar. So I might be able to get him in here one of the days for a chat.
That would be dope.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
And he also is familiar with how they make their weapons. They hunt here with homemade rifles. They're not allowed to have like proper firearms. So the indigenous people here, they make their own rifles for shooting and hunting. So I'll get him in here one of the days maybe to chat about that. You interested?
Big time, dude. Like, I think that's how I could reach my maximum health capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Not including like exercise, meditation, boxing, yoga, stuff like that. Like strictly nutritionally speaking alone. If I had access to healthy animals and healthy animal organs, I could have a spectacular diet. And I bet my energy could even go up a lot. But so the carnivore diet's like little to no carbs. Mm-hmm. It's basically like the keto diet, but you're not eating vegetables. And Paul Saladino is pretty against vegetables because he says a lot of vegetables actually have toxins in them that are inflammatory. And God, man, as we talk more and more about health, just everything's about inflammation, pro-inflammation, anti-inflammation.
That's why we ice bath, and that's why we take
cold
showers.
That is
Yank.
true. But the carnivore diet is supposed to be anti-inflammatory. You're just eating a lot of protein and a lot of fat. Mm-hmm. But I think you specifically want to eat fatty meats. You don't want to eat lean meat. People are doing the carnivore diet. They are not eating chicken. Yeah. No, they're eating beef. They're eating pork. And they're eating the organs. Okay. And then one thing specific about Paul Saladino's version of the carnivore diet is he eats fruit with it as well.
That's what Ninja Ned said. Yeah.
And also honey. Yeah. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it, because fruit and honey are made of water, or they have water in them, right? So your body's able to your body doesn't have to work to break it down. With bread, rice, and noodles, your body has to break it down. You know what I mean?
Stop saying break it down, because I feel like it's break it down.
Break you down.
Break it down. I feel like I'm waiting for some fucking hip hop beat to just drop.
I think they're even called like fast carb like that. I can't remember. So they allow that, and I think they do that specifically because a lot of the people who are doing carnivore diets are high-performing athletes, and generally before or after a heavy workout, the first thing you want is not protein, it's glucose, some form of glucose, because you want to refill the glucose in your muscles.
Most of the people I know that have done the carnivore diet or have tried the carnivore diet were big into lifting weights and training, doing endurance training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting.
But then too much protein, if you eat too much protein, that can actually be converted to glucose, which can convert to fats.
Well, just like we said earlier, too much of anything and too little of anything is a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
You got to
yeah.
find that balance.
Yeah. The omegas, that's a complicated thing as well.
It's a Greek word, right?
Omega.
Isn't that Greek?
I don't know what it means. I kind of like glossed over something that spoke about the word omega and its roots, but I did not.
I like a lot of Greek words.
Yeah?
I like Greek. I like Greek mythology as well. Maybe someday here in the podcast we can talk about some Greek mythology. I find it fascinating.
We can do that for sure.
History, baby, history.
We can do that for sure. Yes, that's a cool diet. I actually tried it, man, but after about 2 days of eating like boatloads of meat, I got really gassy and had to make frequent trips to the bathroom.
My friend in Australia told me the same thing. He said the same thing happened to him.
Yeah, which is funny because I remember when I was little, and my stepdad never wanted to eat vegetarian food because he said it would make him have to poop. Because too many vegetables will make you poop a lot, right?
A lot of fiber in it.
But then it turns out too much meat does the same thing. At least to me.
Like
the balance,
too much of anything, the balance.
Too much of anything. I really just want to do a simple, clean diet, heavy on the fats. Like I want to focus on coconut oil right now. If I'm hungry or I'm tired or I'm groggy, I like to take a teaspoon as like brain fuel in the morning because it is brain fuel and it's fat fuel. You know, when you send a nice little teaspoon of coconut oil to your liver, and when you overwhelm your liver with fats, it starts to produce ketones, right, which go in the bloodstream. It can give you energy both physically and mentally. So that's the cool thing about the keto diet and also the carnivore diet. But if you're eating fruit, your body's not going to get the opportunity to produce ketone. But if I'm doing a fast, and I usually don't eat breakfast in the morning, the first thing I'll do is make black coffee, sometimes a little bit of cinnamon, and some coconut oil. And the coconut oil can stimulate the fat burning in the liver or in the body in general, right? Or MCT oil is even better. I think we talked about that before. But coconut oil is good for your brain and it's good for your kids. And I really think it's something that parents can supplement with to give their children to help with cognitive development. Something crazy I read was there was a vegan mother. She was breastfeeding her child. Child died from a B12 deficiency.
I thought you were about to say there her child died from a beating. You said her child died from a B10.
Can't you keep it light just for one episode, man?
Man, the way you were telling me that story in such a serious tone, I was like, I mean, obviously it's serious for fucking her, or a poor child died. But I'm not saying the part that they were poor, but she died and that was sad.
Yeah.
They might have been rich.
Yeah. What?
I don't know why people say, oh, you poor thing, you. I just hurt my leg. I'm actually a multi-millionaire. I'm not poor at all. I don't understand. Where does that come from?
Anyway. Can you believe that?
Believe what?
That the fucking baby died. The baby's only food source was fucking milk. Sorry, Mom. Was milk from the mother's breasts. But the mother was vegan, and the baby died from a B12 deficiency.
That's pretty crazy.
Like, being vegan is like a danger to your children.
How long ago was that? Do you think that vegans have upped their game now and that they're aware of all this and that they're supplementing a bit more?
They are, but the question is, are they supplementing with the right supplements? We just talked about the bioavailability, right? Are they getting that?
True. I don't know.
Are they getting that? And like when you get your vitamins and your nutrients and your minerals from food, they're all like prepackaged and in balance, and your body doesn't have to compete for the nutrients. Like the nutrients aren't competing over each other. But when you take isolated nutrients, sometimes like they can still get absorbed, but they're not coming as a full package. And they might not work quite as well. Something I came across was that for vegans and vegetarians, I mean, vegetarians still eat eggs and cheese, right? Vegetarians eat eggs and dairy products.
I think the Diaz brothers, the two UFC fighters, the Diaz brothers, I believe they're vegetarians.
Okay. And then vegan is no dairy, no meat. So vegetarians don't have a B12 problem, right? They can still get it. I wanted to pull up some really good sources of B12. I know the best source of B12 is liver and kidney. But another good source of B12 is fortified cereals.
Really?
Weird, right? Do you know what fortified means?
Fortified means packed with or full of.
Yeah, fortified, kind of like a fort. We have a fort.
Yeah.
So we can stay safe in the fort. That's weird. But fortified means adding something to a food that's not naturally present in the food. And so a long time ago when they would make cereal, during the milling process, they would mill out the vitamin B So the FDA ended up passing a law requiring companies to fortify their cereals with vitamin B. I always have a question about about that, and my question has always been, if it's fortified, is it still bioavailable? You know, because that's obviously not natural, right? For a long time, I was drinking almond milk, I was drinking soy milk, cashew milk, and all these milks are fortified with CA. And when my ribs were broken, I was like, all right, I need to get lots of good calcium. And so I was drinking those. I don't know why I was drinking those. I didn't want to drink cow milk because cow milk is high in both fat and carbs, and I don't really think it's the best for weight management, straight up. But it turns out that fortified foods are fully bioavailable. Yeah, so if something's fortified with calcium, fortified with vitamin B, it's actually a really good source. So actually for like a vegan, a cereal like Raisin Bran is a very good source of B12.
So you hear that, all you vegans out there? Get
Eat
yourself
cereal.
some Raisin Bran.
Yeah,
Fortified
get yourself
with
some
vitamin
Raisin
B12
Bran. Yeah.
that y'all's fucking lacking in.
Yeah, Raisin Bran has 62% of the daily value for vitamin B12 in 1 cup. Have you ever had Raisin Bran?
I'm not sure.
I hated it. My uncle used to eat it when I was little, and I was always like, oh, man, get that shit away from me. That's disgusting.
I might have tried it when I was in Canada or America. Raisin
All right,
Bran.
cool. Yeah, B12's important, dude. You know something else high in B12? You like them. You love them.
I don't know.
Clams. Clams.
I
Which
laugh.
is also an aphrodisiac, right?
I need the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I laugh every time you say the word clams.
Clams.
You go clams.
Clams. It's like a sheep, right? Clams.
And then we say clams. Clams.
Clams.
Car. Bar.
So clams,
Mm-hmm.
good for B12,
I love
milk,
clams.
dairy products. Sardines, and I like sardines. I've started eating them pretty frequently, man.
Really?
Canned sardines, yeah.
Yeah.
Eggs, beef, fortified cereal. We just talked about that. Yeah, the fortified just means synthetically made, that's all. Not originally in the food. I already said that. It's the process of adding nutrients not originally in the food. All right, cool. Tuna's got a lot of B12, but canned tuna is high in mercury. Fortified nutritional yeast. I don't know if you know what nutritional yeast is. There's like brewer's yeast and there's nutritional yeast. I think I do have some
The
nutritional
only
yeast.
type of yeast I know is not good yeast.
It's a good source of B12, especially if you're vegan, and it kind of tastes like cheese. It's extremely nutrient dense. Trout and salmon and fortified non-dairy milk. These are all high in B12. Go get it.
Oh, damn.
But you know, a long time ago, I heard McDonald's used to use lard. And lard is actually a really good way to fry food.
Really?
Or to cook, period. Like, lard is a really, really, like, if you wanted that, like...
So a lard ass is potentially healthier than a fucking... you vegetable oil ass, you.
Than a hikikomori.
You lard ass, you.
Yeah, I've heard that on at least 3 different podcasts. Like, lard is a really good thing to use to cook as opposed to, like, a vegetable oil or something like that. I usually just use avocado oil. Especially if I'm frying something up, I use avocado oil.
Green gold, huh? Those avocados.
Yeah, olive oil is more for baking because olive oil and butter both have pretty low smoke points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing that can make almost any oil dangerous is overheating it.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you overheat it past its smoke point, it becomes carcinogenic. And then your food's carcinogenic. And then that's the point that, you know, when your food starts turning black,
Yeah.
the black is carcinogens. Carcinogens are the things in cigarettes that cause cancer.
Hell.
Hot dogs have a lot of them.
So that's what you're saying. So burnt toast or burnt
If it's
burnt
black,
steak.
that black
Yeah.
is carcinogen. That's what the black
Shit.
is.
I know
Yeah.
people at home in Ireland that used to like burnt toast.
We like everything a little burnt.
Yeah.
Right? A little burnt makes
Yeah.
it taste so fucking good.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the what do they say? The sweeter the poison? Or wait a second. What is that saying? The forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest.
The forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest.
Yeah.
That's
And you know
always the way
what?
it is.
We need to end this podcast anyway.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do today was educate you all about some fat. I know it might have got dents in there.
But I reckon, yeah, the fats are bad. The vegetable oils are bad too. But you reckon that the coconut oil is good?
I do. Eat some coconut oil. Cool
Get
thing.
sh-
Put it in your hair. Put it in your mouth. Put it on your face. Put it on your rash.
Just
I got
by golly, just have yourself a whole bathtub full of it and take yourself a coconut bath.
Yeah. Fucking ice bath. Let's do a coconut oil bath. I reckon we could put some coconut oil in the ice bath next time. Shit. So yeah, the carnivore diet's pretty cool. Do some research. Do some I still got it. He's back. Do some
He's
research.
Do yourself some research on them
Yeah.
coconuts oils and them carnivores diets and them ketos diets too.
Yeah, but please put the vegetable oil down for heaven's sake. Do something good for yourself.
Step away from the vegetable oil.
Paddy, it's really quite simple. I'm sorry to put it this way, but like just avoid vegetable oil and sugar.
Boom.
And your life will improve so much. It's only 2 things, and they're actually great substitutes for the sugar. You know, we just had some drinks. The vitamin B had Splenda in it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also coconut sugar. There's also monk fruit sweetener. There's so many good artificial sweeteners, not aspartame. But there are other. Dude, I've been doing it for like well over a year or 2 now. Like you do not need vegetable oil and you do not need sugar. You can be healthy and you can be happy and your food can taste awesome without all that garbage.
Humans are addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
We're addicted to sugar.
More than cocaine.
More than cocaine. It's one of our biggest addictions is sugar.
Actually, last time I went home, last time I went back to the U.S., they made me some coffee. They said, "You want creamer?" I was like, sure, why not?" Put creamer in my coffee, do my stomach turn, and it was turned for the whole day because I generally have such a strict diet over here. My body could not even handle the creamer, and they drink that shit every morning. And then after that, it's Mountain Dew, and I don't know, but it's like, man, sugar. I don't know what's worse, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day or like drinking 6 sugary drinks a day.
You should have a race. You start smoking cigarettes every day.
See who dies first.
See who dies first. See who has a heart attack or a stroke first.
The Paddy and the Yank challenge. Get a friend.
But on that note of sugar, they advertise and they try to sell to you juices like orange juice and apple juice and all these things like they're a healthy part of a kid's, daily diet. Those things are loaded with fucking sugar. If you go into a fucking store, any convenience store, any store, pick up something like orange juice, apple juice, pineapple juice, any of these juices, and just look at how much sugar is in one of those things. And they're selling them like to kids as like, it's the healthy option.
Well, the thing is, yeah, you were right. You're totally right. And it's like, man, you got to train your kids while they're young. And like I grew up on Kool-Aid. That's not good. I'm sorry.
You drank the Kool-Aid, huh?
I drank the Kool-Aid. But it's like if I had a
Yank drank the Kool-Aid.
If you start training your kid at a very young age, like that, when we want something to be sweet, we make a bowl of yogurt with some honey and chia seeds and some blueberries and some raspberries.
That sounds good.
And that's delicious. And you blend it up, and then it's like ice cream, and it's healthy, and the kid's happy.
Yeah.
And all that requires is like a little bit of work, And that's the, you could do that, or you could give them a tub of ice cream. And I think a lot of people do the ice cream or something like bad.
Yeah.
But it's like the first 5 years of a kid's life are important. The first 10 years are important. The first 15 years, the first 20 years, they're all important years.
Yeah.
And everything that happens during that 20 years, after that, the person is kind of set to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
The mind has been molded.
If you drink 5 cups of Kool-Aid every day for the first 10 years of your life, you might be much more prone to developing diabetes.
I'd say there's a good chance.
Or some sort of problem. You know what I mean? So like what? I don't know.
Kool-Aid addiction.
Yeah, and especially if you're vegan or you're vegetarian, you gotta pay extra special attention to your diet because there's some things like B12 that you just literally can't get from a from a vegan diet. Vegetarian diet, you can get B12.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with vegans, vegetarians. Everybody can do and eat what they want, but a lot of the times these vegans, man, to be preaching like crazy.
Listen, I will respect anybody that will commit to a diet because I know the amount of mental toughness it takes to commit to a diet, and whatever diet you try, I support it 100%. I'm just saying.
What about if it's a diet of pizza, wings?
That's not a diet. A diet is when you restrict your intake of certain things, and you also restrict the amount of calories you're taking in.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that I think vegan might be the hardest to sustain for a long period of time. Oh, and that was something else I read. You can have permanent brain damage from a B12 deficiency as an infant. If you have a B12 deficiency during the time of your infancy, you can develop permanent brain damage.
Damn.
Like your brain never developed to its maximum potential.
I know lots of people whose brains haven't
developed.
Yeah,
because you weren't.
There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there.
I mean, if you're vegan, I'm sorry to keep saying that, but you really got to get those omegas, where you get them from. But it sounds like you can just do coconut oil. Boom, done.
Just snort a few lines of coconut oil and you'll be gravy.
Oh my God! Just don't freebase it. It's got a low smoke point. Don't freebase the coconut oil.
Hey, don't freebase. Hey, what are you doing
You remember
over there?
Uncle Johnny, right? He
Hey,
freebased that shit for 17 years. Now look at him. He's got 2 teeth.
Oh, God, don't talk about your Uncle Johnny like that, okay?
2 teeth.
He's got 2 teeth in his freaking head. But we love him, man. We love Uncle Johnny.
Oh my!
Gotta end with a bit of humor, right?
Yeah. That was
That's very interesting, very educational there, Yank.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Diets
your
are good.
knowledge.
Yeah, and that's shit I said at the end. I'm an advocate, man, for anybody that'll try to stick to any diet. There's a lot of diets. Just challenge yourself to do something, you know? And once again, I'd like to throw that out there in general. Challenge yourself. Do something different this week. Take something away or add something in.
To your life. And
to your life. This week, you know what I did? I meditated for at least 30 minutes a day. A couple of days I did an hour and a half of meditation, and I've been using that as a form of muscle relaxation. Usually
nice.
people do it for the mind. I was doing it for my body and my mind. So that's
Awesome.
I know we talked about biohacking.
Yep.
Well, we talked more about omegas and fats and shit like that, but that would be like my biohack tip for the day, is just to try to sit down for 5 minutes a day and meditate. And if you don't know how to meditate, we'll post something on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, so if you like the podcast, follow, like, give it however many stars you think it deserves. I'm not going to tell you to give it 5 stars. Give it whatever you think it deserves. Also, hit us up on Instagram, Paddy and the Yank _podcast. We'd love to hear from y'all.
All right, cool. Have a good day. I hope you guys had a really good St. Patrick's Day, and I hope everybody drank responsibly. All right?
All right. Peace.
Later.